In today's Reddit story, my fiancée spent the money I saved for our wedding on a secret getaway with her ex. When I found out, she just shrugged and said, "I just wanted some closure. You'll earn it back anyway." I said nothing, until 5 days later, she woke up screaming. You ever have one of those moments where your brain refuses to process what's happening? Like, you just stand there, staring, waiting for the universe to reveal that it's all some big joke? Yeah, that was me when I found out my fiancée Maya had spent our wedding fund, the money I had worked my ass off to save, on a luxury getaway with her ex. It wasn't even a discreet affair. She didn't seem ashamed. She didn't even try to lie. I had come home early from a work trip, ready to finalize our wedding details, when I noticed something odd. Our savings account balance looked suspiciously empty. At first, I figured it was a glitch, maybe a bank error, maybe some automatic withdrawal I forgot about. So I did some digging. A few transfers here, some large withdrawals there, and then I saw it, an $8,700 charge for a resort in the Bahamas. I blinked. Maya walked in right as I was staring at it. "Hey babe," she said, all casual, like she hadn't just robbed me blind. I held up my phone. "You want to explain why almost $9,000 is missing from our wedding fund?" Her face didn't even twitch. No guilt, no panic, just a lazy shrug. "Oh, that," she said, like I had just asked why the milk expired. "I went on a trip with Kyle." Kyle, her ex. The guy she swore she was completely over and only talked to because they were mature adults. I took a deep breath, trying to keep my voice level. "You spent our wedding money on a trip with your ex?" She rolled her eyes like I was being dramatic. "Relax, it's not a big deal," she said. "I just needed some closure." I actually laughed at that. "Closure?" "Yeah," she said, completely serious. "You know, just to make sure I'm really making the right choice. But it's fine. I'm back, aren't I?" I stared at her, waiting for the self-awareness to kick in. It didn't. Instead, she yawned and stretched. "Besides, you'll earn it back," she added. "Money comes and goes, babe. Don't stress." "I cannot stress this enough." She smirked when she said that. Like I was some ATM with feelings. Like I'd just take this, nod along, and keep funding her life. I felt something inside me shift. All the gaslighting, the manipulation, the time she made me doubt myself, they all clicked into place. She had spent our future on her past, and yet she still thought she had won. I took a deep breath, letting a slow smile spread across my face. "Yeah," I said, calm, easy. "You're right, it's just money." Her shoulders relaxed. She thought she had gotten away with it. But if she spent my money on her past, then I was about to make damn sure her future cost her everything. She gaslit me the entire relationship. Now it was my turn to gaslight her. And I was going to enjoy every second of it. I wasn't going to rush this. No, if I was going to completely dismantle Maya's life, I needed to do it slowly, methodically, in a way where she wouldn't even realize she was being played. Until it was too late. But first, I needed to reflect. How the hell did I get here? See, Maya and Kyle had a long, messy history. From what she told me when we first got together, their relationship was passionate but toxic. The kind of couple that loved fighting as much as they loved each other. One minute, they were planning a future together. The next, she was kicking him out of her apartment and throwing his clothes out the window. The final straw? According to Maya, Kyle was a serial cheater. "I gave him too many chances," she told me once, shaking her head like she was so over him. I was so stupid back then. She told me he had gaslit her, manipulated her, drained her savings, and made her feel like she wasn't good enough. And now she had done all of that to me. Irony is a hell of a drug. I met Maya about 4 years ago, back when I was just starting to build my career. She was everything I thought I wanted. Confident, charismatic, and full of life. She had this way of making you feel like you were the most interesting person in the room. She made me feel like I was special, like I was different from all the guys she had dated before. "You're the most stable person I've ever been with," she told me once, resting her head on my chest. "You're so safe." At the time, I took it as a compliment. Looking back, it was a warning. She never wanted love, she wanted security. Someone reliable, predictable, easy to manipulate. Someone she could fall back on when she inevitably got bored of her usual chaos. And like a dumbass, I thought I was the exception. Now, here's something important about Maya. She was superstitious as hell. I don't mean she casually read horoscopes. I mean full-blown, walking around with crystals, consulting psychics, burning sage to cleanse bad energy levels of superstition. She believed in manifesting wealth, the power of lucky numbers, and that the universe always sent signs before something bad happened. Once, she refused to sign a lease because the apartment number was 13. Another time, she almost skipped a work trip because her tarot reading told her there was chaotic energy surrounding her. She was the type of person who blamed Mercury retrograde for her bad decisions instead of taking accountability. And this was something I was going to use against her. Because if Maya believed in signs, then I was about to make her believe that the universe itself was turning against her. Before I could move forward, I needed to make sure she never suspected I was onto her. She was still emotionally attached to me. She thought her closure with Kyle had been successful. So I did what any rational man planning psychological warfare would do. I apologized. I told her I overreacted about the whole stealing our wedding money to take a trip with her ex thing. That I understood she needed to find closure and that I was willing to move past it. That I still wanted to marry her. She ate it up. The relief on her face was almost insulting, like she really thought she had pulled one over on me. That night, as she snuggled into me, whispering about how she knew I'd understand, I just smiled in the dark, because she had no idea what was coming. Maya had spent our whole relationship gaslighting me, twisting the truth, making me second-guess my instincts, rewriting reality to fit her narrative. Now, it was my turn. The difference? I wasn't going to make her doubt me. I was going to make her doubt the universe itself. I started small, just enough to get into her head. One morning, I casually mentioned how I had a weird dream. I don't remember much, I lied, rubbing my temples like I was still trying to piece it together. But it felt off, like something bad is coming. Maya froze mid-sip of her morning coffee. What do you mean bad? She asked, instantly on edge. I shrugged. I don't know, just bad energy. I watched her internal battle, her trying to brush it off versus her overwhelming need to believe in signs. She scoffed. You sound like me. I know, right? I laughed. Must be spending too much time with you. That planted the seed. Now, I just had to water it. Maya believed in manifestations, that what you put into the universe you got back. So, I started messing with that too. I swapped her vision board. She had one of those manifestation boards with pictures of things she wanted. A dream house, a car, travel destinations. While she was at work, I switched out some images, replacing them with pictures of broken homes, foreclosure signs, storm clouds, and wrecked cars. I changed her phone wallpaper to an eerie tarot card image, the Tower card, which symbolizes chaos, destruction, and bad luck. Of course, she thought she had changed it in her sleep. Her lucky bracelet went missing. I accidentally knocked it into the vent under our bed while cleaning. She tore the apartment apart looking for it. She started getting antsy. It's like, something is wrong, she muttered one night, staring at her vision board, brow furrowed, like my energy is blocked or something. I nodded sympathetically. Maybe the universe is trying to tell you something, I said softly. Her eyes widened slightly, like the thought had just occurred to her. And oh boy, was I just getting started. The next phase? I needed things to escalate. So, I made sure they did. I bought a smart plug and connected it to our lamps. At random moments, I'd flicker the lights when she was alone. One night, she was journaling, trying to reset her energy, when the lights sputtered and dimmed. She jumped, staring at the lamp like it had personally offended her. I walked in, pretending to be confused. That's weird, I muttered, tapping it. Maybe the wiring's off? No, she whispered, looking unsettled. This happened last night too. I widened my eyes. Maybe it's a sign? She didn't even roll her eyes this time. She just looked genuinely uneasy. Maya had a self-curated playlist she always listened to for positive energy, so I switched out some of the songs with creepy, ominous tunes. She was mid-yoga session when suddenly, instead of her usual meditation music, a haunting, violin-heavy track played. I watched from the kitchen as she froze, staring at her phone like it had betrayed her. She frantically checked the playlist, mumbling, I didn't add this. I casually walked over. Weird. Maybe a glitch? She stared at me, then back at her phone. I could see the doubt creeping in. Everything had been building up to this. She had been restless, anxious, jumping at every little thing. And then, the final straw. One night, as we were watching TV, she casually scrolled through her phone. I knew what she was about to see, because I had sent it. A cryptic, anonymous text message. "You know what you did, and soon, so will he." She immediately stiffened. Her fingers trembled slightly as she tried to unlock her phone. I pretended not to notice, keeping my focus on the TV, but I could feel her panic. She got up without a word and went to the bedroom. I followed 5 minutes later and found her pacing. "What's wrong?" I asked innocently. She looked up, visibly pale. "Felix, do you ever feel like something bad is coming?" I stared at her, keeping my expression neutral. "I don't know," I said, "but I've been having those dreams again." She visibly tensed. "The ones where something bad is coming," she whispered. I just nodded. And that's when I saw it. The moment she broke. The moment she actually believed something was wrong. Not just with the universe, but with her. Maya was unraveling, and I was loving every second of it. She was restless, paranoid, checking her phone constantly, and triple-checking every lock in the apartment. But the best part? She thought I had nothing to do with it. She thought this was the universe punishing her. I had planted the seed. Now it was time to make it bloom. Maya had been having trouble sleeping. She kept tossing and turning, waking up sweaty, checking her phone every few minutes. One night, she finally passed out from exhaustion. That's when I set my final trap. At exactly 3 a.m., I shook her awake violently. "Maya," I gasped, pretending to be terrified. She sat up dazed, eyes wide. "What? What happened?" I ran a hand through my hair, breathing heavily. You were talking in your sleep," I whispered. "No, you were screaming." Her face drained of color. "What?" she breathed. I nodded, selling the fear. "I woke up and you were mumbling, then suddenly you started screaming, 'I'm sorry, I didn't mean to,' over and over again." Maya clutched the blanket, shaking her head. No, I don't remember." I took a deep breath, making myself look conflicted. Then I dropped the final bomb. "Who's watching you?" I asked softly. She froze. "What?" she whispered. I hesitated. "That's what you kept saying in your sleep. Who's watching me? Please stop." She went completely still. I could practically see the horror crawling up her spine. "I need air," she whispered, scrambling out of bed. I let her go, because I knew she'd never sleep peacefully again. Maya's superstition had taken over. She was burning sage, leaving bowls of salt in corners, playing spiritual cleansing music 24/7. But she couldn't shake the feeling that something was coming for her, which was exactly what I wanted. So I gave her one final push. The morning of her weekend retreat with her friends, I made sure she left in a hurry. The moment she was gone, I went to work. I emptied our shared accounts. Every single penny. I canceled all the utilities in her name. Water, electricity, all gone. I changed the locks. She was never stepping foot in this apartment again. And finally, I sent one last anonymous text to her phone. "You know what you did. You can't run from it." Then I shut my phone off, packed my stuff, and left. Maya came back Sunday night. She had no idea what was waiting for her. I had a friend park across the street to record everything. First, she tried unlocking the door. Didn't work. She started banging on it, screaming my name. Then she tried calling me. My phone was off. She opened her banking app. Balance, $0. And then, her phone dinged. It was the final message. "You'll never be safe. You know why." She dropped her phone like it burned her. Then she screamed, loud enough that people from the building started coming out to see the drama unfold. And me? I was sitting in a nearby cafe, sipping my coffee, watching the footage my friend was sending me. It was beautiful. The woman who had spent years gaslighting me, manipulating me, treating me like I was nothing. Now she was losing her mind. And I wasn't there to save her. The next morning, I woke up to 37 missed calls. I didn't answer a single one. Maya sent texts, voicemails, emails. She wanted explanations, closure. She begged me to talk to her. I simply sent one last message. Some things you just don't see coming. And then, I blocked her on everything. You might think what I did is childish. I would have broken up and left silently if she had some self-awareness. She thought she could disrespect me and get away with it easily. No. Now my ego has been satisfied. Maya had always believed in karma. She just never expected it to come from me.